Hey everybody, welcome. Thanks for joining me. We are ready for Monty After Dark. If you could kindly smash the like button, that would be great. And if you want to join the panel, join now. Maybe I should switch my hat, I think. Or maybe I should go like this. You know what? Let's just do it like this. That's my hair. Let's go. Welcome everybody. So she was on a few hours ago. She did some walking. She went to go get some Starbucks. She's currently doing her nails, or she should be finished at any moment right now. And she was eating chicken with plantain, of course. So, hey there, Shell. Hi there, Lisa B, Sunkissed Erica, Cajun Bell, Jennifer, Clarky, Gemini. Hi there, Puppy Breath, Alex K, KW, Cherry Stealer Girl, EP, Smelly Cat, welcome. And who else? We got Lynn Smith, Bodega Cat, Jessica, Fun and Fab. Welcome to the show. If you want to be on the panel, then hit the link I've just put in. I Love Light D, Slim Y, Beaker. We got Lynn Smith, The Afterlife, Razumi, Yazara, Blunted on Reality, Just Curious, Ray Ray, Kiki Joe, Janine Tweets, Polygon Wrong, Lynn Smith, Lana Renee, Jennifer, and Nancy B. Welcome. How's everybody doing? Today is Wednesday, Hump Day. Hey, Saren D. Hey, Miss Zippy. Clarky, CM Cakes. Welcome. I don't know, kinda, sorta, Clarky. Hey, Katie Ann Rocks. Welcome. Grumpy Beer. Welcome. How are you doing? Once again, post in the link. So if you want to join me, join me. It's all good if you cannot, but I'm sure there's a lot of people that still have a lot to say. Ohio blows. Hello. Polygon wrong. Hey, Natalie. How are you doing? Lenibo, welcome. Jilly Witchy, you changed your name again. Hi there. She was on the long road. Yes, she was on the long road and she walked and was doing a lot of stuff. Hey there, Chrissy. We got Ray Ray. Welcome to the chat, Ray Ray.
Hey, how are you?
I'm all right. How are you doing?
I'm doing okay.
Well, that's good. So, what do you think so far on her what she's been doing back?
I didn't watch her stream from this morning, but I watched the one yesterday from last night. Um,
Okay.
and just the way she was from the one last night was just. I mean, you have to expect it, obviously, from Chantal, but I don't know. It just kind of hit me the wrong way. She was apologizing, but not apologizing, and oh, I didn't do that. I didn't do that. Like, if you really cared enough, like go and watch other people's, reactors videos or whatever and see what you did. But she obviously won't do that. She'll just, deny it and call people liars. Because there were people in her chat telling her like serious stuff that she did. And she's, oh, I didn't do that. I didn't do that. Oh, if I did, well, I'm sorry then. But like it was just such half apologies that weren't even real apologies at all. And it was ridiculous, honestly.
I get that. Yeah, last night was a lot of deflection, a lot of denying, a lot of blocking people still. Also, she did everything that I expected, kind of really mellow, laid back, still kind of going at people if they bring up anything that she did in various ways, depends. She says she's too scared to watch her videos. Yeah, she's like, she doesn't want to watch it. Plus, then again, that's watching nearly 4.5 hours for the first part, then part two is less than half an hour. That's a lot to watch.
Well, I mean, realistically, though, if she really wanted to watch it, she can go to like, I'm just throwing out names, but she can go to like Just Saying, like they, put it down to a smaller, so she can go to other people's channels who have brought down and shown exactly like the bad parts of what she was doing. And I feel like it's not a matter of watching 4 hours worth. I just feel like she doesn't want to do it because she doesn't want to know what she said and have to fully admit to it and apologize, because that's one thing we've learned about Chantal. She's not good at apologizing. And so yeah, I think that's the biggest part of it.
Yeah, exactly. For sure. Hi there, Pink Warrior. Hi there, Doy Cookie, Doot, Antoinetta, Jennifer, Lana Renee, welcome. Lynn Smith. Hi there, Silly Kitten. Has she been on today? Yes, she was on for 2 hours, 17 minutes. It was titled New Life. Well, kinda. She's getting her nails done. She'll be finished anytime now. And I don't know where she's gonna do, what she's gonna do after. She says she's gonna clean up Box Mountain, which kind of makes some sense, but then again, is she really gonna do that? She's been saying she's gonna do a lot of things. Hey there, Vanessa. She hasn't even sent Bay Nation the webcam yet, even though she's supposed to have been sending Bay Nation the webcam. Was it Kay from Bay Nation? I believe is the one that wanted it. Hi, Sam Joseph. Happy Easter. You're on. Welcome.
I was not going to come on today, and I want other people on. Please, somebody else come on and let me jump off. But to me, a panel is not a panel of two. Although you and Monty are doing great, Ray, and I love you. I love both of y'all. And but man, she doesn't care what she did. Not one ounce. Not 1 ounce does she care what she did. She was blocking people last night. She got home, you'd think she'd be happy. Her kitties were happy she was home. I don't know why, but and but oh my god, it was literally a shite show last night. I
Well,
mean,
shite show and shite literally because didn't she shit
that's what
herself?
yeah. Yep,
Yeah,
that's what I
and then she
meant.
just stayed in
Hmm.
it. Like, how
Oh
can you do
god,
that?
don't stop. Time out wherever my camera is. Time out. Where I don't want I don't want to relive that.
But though, did you see? I had commented, and I think Rebo commented as well. I don't think so. Did you see when she when she came out of the bathroom? She threw her pants on the counter, and like
Yeah, I saw that.
like that's nasty. Like not only sitting like
Well,
in your own,
i-
but like
i-
throw the nasty pants on the counter. That's not.
well, now in Sam Tefler's live this morning, we had this whole debate of whether she threw it on the counter or she threw it in the trash can that's there by the counter. So we don't know which, but either way is horrible because here she is throwing away clothes again. And I still say somebody's going to have to prove to me that she didn't leave 3/4 of her belongings. Okay, Monty, you're muted.
Yeah, my bad. We got some feedback here, sir, about that. Everybody, Doyd Cookie, do you mind adjusting your settings to make sure we don't have any feedback in the chat? Maria's Tarot, we'll add you right now. Give me a second. All right, there we go. All right.
Okay, love all of y'all, and I don't have much more to say. And I feel like I hog the place, so I'm leaving. Y'all have a great time. I'm gonna watch y'all from beyond. I'll be in the chat. Talk
Bye.
later. Bye.
All right. Welcome, Doyd Cookie. Welcome, Maria's Tarot. How are you doing?
Hey.
Hi there. So we
Uh,
can't hear you.
yeah, we can't hear you.
Maria's Tarot, you're
Oh,
unmuted.
hello. Hi, everybody.
There.
Good afternoon.
Hi. So what did you have to say, Maria?
Well, I'm gonna try to be as polite as possible. No offense to anyone throughout this community. I'm speaking. Can you hear me? I hear an
We
echo.
can hear you. We can hear you.
Oh,
If you're hearing an echo, maybe not watch while you're on the panel so we don't have any feedback.
how do I do that?
I don't hear any echo from you, so you seem to be good. So just go ahead, you can speak.
Okay. Well, I don't have that much to say. The only thing I will say is that whoever continues to watch this woman, they are paying literally to be abused. And that says a whole lot about the viewer and not the content creator. Because basically, if I'm paying you for a subscription every month I'm expecting certain type of contact. I'm not expecting to be verbally abused and told to F off. You understand? So there's a lot of healing that needs to take place within her community and the people that are actually connected with her. I ain't like what she had to say when she literally tried to like bash everybody on your panel and say that the women's are ain't no good. She has a lot of dark energy surrounding her, and I don't know. I don't have anything else to say. This woman is baffling. It's like the disease of addiction, baffling, cunning, and insidious. You know, and she continues to ultimately do as she please. And I'm like, Lord, is karma ever gonna hit her? And I believe in karma and how the universe works, but trust me, everybody takes a turn in life. And her
That's
day
very
gonna
true.
come. So, that's the only thing I have to contribute. Cause I would not I would not give that woman one red cent for her to curse me out and abuse me and belittle me and berate me and tell me that I'm not worth your time when I'm giving you my time. Time is the most invaluable expense that I can give to you as a human being, and you're taking advantage of that. No, her VIB members, there's something not right with them if they continue to fund their own self-inflicting abuse. I'm gonna shut up now, Monty. Thank you.
Hi, Michelle, you're live?
Hi. Do I sound okay?
Yes.
Okay. Uh, I'm normally a pretty silent viewer, but I got to tell you, I've watched Chantal through different channels for a long time. I've seen her do some pretty degrading things and some pretty abusive behavior, but nothing like what she's done recently. Um, she is in a downward spiral, and it's very difficult for me to even have sympathy for her because a lot of this she's bringing on herself. This whole thing with Nader, this is I originally thought this was all stalker behavior. I've got some past with law enforcement and some dealings with law enforcement. I come from a cop's family, and I've seen stalkers behave like this. Uh, where they text or call them thousands of times, and this all seems to be escalating. This is escalating behavior. And while I have no sympathy for him either, uh, somebody's going to get hurt. Somebody's going to get arrested here. And I don't. It blows my mind that YouTube not only gave her back her channel after all the crap she's pulled, but they seem to be okay with what she's doing currently. And that just floors me. I mean, I've seen creators get yeeted off of YouTube for less. One misspoken word, not a racist rant. She was doing that, but they said one word wrong, and yeet. Uh, let something be seen for just a second. Apologize profusely for doing it. Yeet. She does it repeatedly and gets away with it. I mean, she has escalated from what I call it the little stuff she was doing in the beginning. She's she has escalated way beyond that. And I mean this her behavior is just atrocious. It stopped being entertaining when she started escalating like this. But like when you pass by a car wreck, sometimes you can't stop looking. I don't want to see anybody get hurt, and I have a severe dislike for her. She wouldn't be a friend of mine, but I don't want to see her spiral down like she's doing. But at the same time, she's the one that makes the decision. She chooses the behavior, and what can you do unless she wants to change herself? Nobody's going to convince her otherwise. She's defiant. She's going to keep doing this. but I've rattled on long enough, so sorry.
No worries. We appreciate your opinion. That's, everybody has their own opinions, and you're welcome to state your opinions on camera. We are seeing two kitties with Ray Ray. We're agreeable. If you want to come on the panel, come on the panel. Hi there, Kidney J. Hi there, everybody. It seems a lot of people are agreeing with you, Michelle, that a lot of other people have been removed from YouTube for less. So, who did you say got removed, and what exactly did they do? You
Are you,
said somebody else got removed, Michelle,
well,
for
like,
less.
okay, I've seen, well, okay, let's go back to PewDiePie. All right. When he got
Mhm.
yeeted, okay, what he did was wrong, and he admitted it. He said that was in poor taste, and it offended a lot of people. And I get it. He should have been sanctioned or punished or something. But he was he was yeeted so quickly that it blew my mind how quickly that happened. Now, I'm not as familiar with YouTube. I get that. A lot of people know a lot more than I do, and correct me if I'm wrong. But what I've seen creators like that get yeeted, and he did get his platform back, but he got a form of punishment with that. He had to start. I believe he had to start over, and he had trouble monetizing, and all this other things he had to go through. He had to jump through a lot of hoops. He had to behave himself. He lost a lot of sponsorships and things like that. Well, she doesn't have many sponsorships. Um, she was showing nudity, and as far as I know, that breaks terms of service. That you can't do that on YouTube. Just recently, was it the one from this morning where, or no, I think that was last night, where she had to rush to the bathroom and she comes back in just her underwear? I mean, seriously, I think if a guy did that, YouTube would take exception to that happening. But she gets away with it. It's made her so bold that she doesn't seem to have any fear of what a repercussion is. And sometimes when a YouTuber gets yeeted, uh, they they deserve that for the actions that they did. But she seems to get a pass every time. I mean, how long was she yeeted off this last when they did pull her? Was it a
Like
couple?
about 3 weeks.
Yeah, about 3 weeks. And here she is back, and she's not walking on eggshells. She's not trying to behave herself at all. She's getting drunk, and possible other things have happened or she's doing, shooting her mouth off the way she is, insulting all of humanity, and she gets to pull the I don't remember card. Okay, hey, I've been blind drunk before. I've said stupid things before that I can't recall saying, but I've had people that have told me what I've done or said. And I mean, hey, that knocks sense into me. Hey, I had to apologize. I had to straighten up my behavior. But at the same time, I'm a 53-year-old who has seen a lot in my lifetime. Um, I'm not the most outgoing person, prefer kind of to be in the background, but her behavior disturbed me enough where I was willing to come on a panel. Um, and I'm definitely not comfortable in the public eye, but I couldn't be silent about it. I mean, she had me angry enough I wanted to smack my computer. Uh, I've never had somebody get that type of gut reaction out of me. It just floored me the way she could behave, and then the next time you see her, oh, I don't remember. Oh, did I do that? Well, I'm sorry, but no, I'm not. And she even said in that thing, that the very next day she's gonna manipulate you get your money, and you're going to be just fine with it.
Yeah, high turnover rate doesn't help as well, because I do believe that is
Right.
happening, that a lot of new people are coming in. They
That's
don't
right.
know the history, and they get pulled in. Doe-eyed Cookie, you're live. If you want to unmute yourself and say something, go ahead.
Hi everyone.
Hello.
I'm here. I can't sleep. It's like 5:10 in the morning in Australia, and I saw you guys, and I thought, oh, I'll come say hi. I the initial rage rant, actually, I found it very difficult to listen to. It actually made me feel a bit sick in my chest. I get a bit of anxiety, and it really triggered me quite a bit. I had to tap in and out. I thought she might calm down, but the 6 hours of just, it was rage the whole way. It didn't temper at all. And I found that very concerning. My biggest thought was, I'm glad she's alone, because if somebody had been there, say, just even a passerby or somebody knock on the door, I was really scared of how she would respond to an actual physical person in the room, because her body, her voice, her face, everything about her had like that blackout blind rage behind it. Found it really disturbing, and the things she was saying were just, yeah, I was really affected by it, and I just really thought, instead of going and getting her nails done, she should perhaps be seeking out a therapist and having an appointment like immediately. That was my first
Right.
initial thought. Forget your nails, get your mental health sorted, because it's really, really bad, and she's sliding really, really quickly. But food and nails, that's her priorities, I guess.
And that's what
Well,
I just wanted to kind of
yeah.
go in. That's what I was saying yesterday, whatever, when she was blaming her mental health for everything. Well, if you want to blame your mental health, go to therapy, go get it taken care of. That's the thing is, if she really wants to say that that's the problem, go get it taken care of, or else don't blame it on that. So that's all I want to say.
But you're absolutely right. She needs to get that mental health looked at, and she needs to do something, because she's spinning out of control. And exactly what you said about if somebody had been with her or came into that room. Um, I've seen people in that state of mind, and I've seen people hurt just because they're in that blind rage and they're just lashing out at the first thing they see. And that could have been a possibility. And
Hey, you
and
guys.
really that's terrifying, seeing that behavior coming out of her.
I think she's just going to use every excuse in the book to
Yeah.
not take accountability for anything she says or does. She's gotten away with too much for too long, and she thinks she's untouchable, and it's just going to keep on.
Exactly.
Well,
And
and
she's
oh, go ahead.
oh, I'm sorry. No, but
Well, no,
she's been allowed to get away with it.
yeah.
So
Well, and I was gonna add in too, because I don't know if I've really heard anybody bring it up, but when she first got reinstated, I want to say it was like that first stream, she mentioned that she got reinstated because YouTube loves her. So she's under the impression that she got reinstated because YouTube loves her, and Jesse, so I think that's where this mentality is coming from. YouTube loves her; she can do whatever she wants, and they're gonna bring her back or whatever the case is. So I think that's where this like headstrong mentality and doing whatever she wants is coming from. Thanks, because YouTube loves her. But they just want the money is really what's coming from. But yeah, I think that's really where this is coming from right now.
yeah, I think you're right. Um, I'll go ahead and pop off the panel so somebody else can come in. But thanks for letting me come in here, guys.
All right, thank you, Michelle. Take care. Bye bye.
Bye.
All right, Pink Sun Doll, you're live.
Hi, everybody. Hi, Monty. Thank you for allowing me to pop on. This has just been a wild ride. Like I was watching your streaming that disgusting display, and the amount of gross vitriol that was spewing out of her mouth. It took everything in me to continue to watch your stream, because I wanted to support you, Monty, but it was invoking a feeling, I think someone else mentioned, like in the pit of my stomach, like hearing her say all that disgusting stuff about domestic violence into her VIBs. I mean, it's almost like they have a form of Stockholm syndrome or something, because she she curses them out. She tells them she doesn't need them. That, you know, they cycle through. Some leave, people come back, they resubscribe. They resubscribe, and she told them that she doesn't even get a majority of her income from memberships. The majority of it comes from clicks and views or AdSense. So she's told them that, basically told them they're not important to her, and they're just still yes queen. And I don't understand the psyche of her VIBs, and I see this, everything has to come to an end at some point. And I feel like whatever Chantal's end will be is going to be epic, because you know, you just can't fly like this forever. It seems like it seems like she's Teflon, and so far she has been, but there has to be an end. Everything that goes up comes down at some point. And I hopefully I can still stay on this train to watch it. Like I said the other night, it took everything in me. Hi. It took everything in me to continue to watch your stream, Monty, because it just made me so angry and so upset. And yeah, I'm hoping at some point YouTube, or you know, some her BIBs or somebody will put a stop to this madness, because someone is going to get hurt. It's going to be her, it's going to be Dede, it's going to be Nader, or it's going to be all three of them. Something major is going to happen with this situation, because it's spiraling out of control, and it's going to a very dark place. Like I think it was what Michelle said. It's going to a dark place. So that's all I wanted to say. I wanted to get that off my chest. So I'll turn the mic over to someone else. But thank you again for allowing me to say my piece.
No problem, Pink Sandal. Hey, Azza.
Hey. Oh God, what a dumpster fire! What everything's going on with this? It's so out of control now. It's kind of YouTube's fault, really. They've enabled it, and she's fully taking advantage of it now, and she thinks she's invincible. And it's quite sickening, her behavior. The way she acted was like a child having her prams taken away. It was just out of order. There's no like other answer. It was just disgusting. And I don't think she's having any more lows anymore. I think she's at it, and she's, well, like what she said herself, she loves it.
Yeah.
That's all you can think, really.
Bubble-headed Disco Biscuit, welcome.
Hey there.
Hey.
Can y'all hear me well enough?
You're a bit low, but StreamYard should adjust over time.
Okay, I've got earbuds in. So earlier someone said that she got to use the excuse that she was drunk. And listening to Equine Dragon, her video about the fact that Chantal was not that intoxicated. She just wasn't. And it's not an excuse either way. But as someone who's been a heavy drug user in the past and has been able to drink like a whole fifth to myself and still hold my own, yeah, she was not so intoxicated that she didn't know what she was saying. She knew exactly what she was saying, and she remembers everything that she said. So I don't believe her for a second when she says, "Did I say that?" Yes, you did, and you know that you did.
Yeah, I agree 100% with that, because I've been, I guess you want to say bigger than Chantal, however you want to, whatever weight you want to think Chantal is. I've technically been bigger than her if she's in the 350s, 400s, whatever. And with her weight, she should be able to control alcohol. Like, it really doesn't matter how much you drink, if you drink on a daily basis or not. Body weight has a lot to do with how much alcohol you can take. And when I was, her size bigger, I've down quite a bit of alcohol, and I was still, functioning, doing fine. So yeah, I really don't believe that that bottle of rum and maybe a couple, I think she said she had like rum punches or whatever. I don't think that really caused her to be like that. I honestly don't think so.
Can you specifically or anybody else clock exactly when she's exaggerating? Because I can. When she said that she woke up and then started packing, and then she was like, oh, and then I threw up. And I'm like, did you now? You did? Are you sure? Okay. I believe you.
She loves to twist her narrative to make it look better for her. She loves to do it. You know what she's saying about Dede. The next minute, she was slagging her off, saying that she's a horrible person. Next minute, Nader's a terrible cook. Next minute, he's a chef. She only wants things to spin to her narrative to make it look better for her. And I think she loves doing it. I think she loves spinning stories. There's truths in it, but she sprinkles it with lies to make people
Yes,
guessing
I
and keep
agree.
talking about
Absolutely.
it. She wants people talking, and she keeps changing the narrative because people keep talking about it, and it happens and it works.
And the way she totally kept, most of her spew was at Dede. I'd say 90% of her anger was at Dede rather than Nader. And the thing is, you know, I'm not saying Dede is totally innocent in this gang, but Nader is the one that you know, is in the middle of all this. Her anger should be at Dede, and if Dede did call her B, she had every right. She's called her a man. Says she is, you know, transsexual, which is nothing wrong with being transsexual. But if you're not, using that as an insult, talks about her hair, and then she's telling people to contact the woman's mother, who's in a senior citizen home. Like, why harass an elderly woman? What does this woman have to do with this at all? What does Dede's job have to do with this? Like, that is totally wrong, telling her people to call Dede's job and harass her job. Like, that is disgusting. That is absolutely disgusting. And so if Dede called her a B, she can call her a B. And if Chantal, if you're watching and want to say I'm ugly, like you said, all of Monty's people on their panel is ugly, fine. You can call me ugly if you want to. But I know that on the inside, I'm a much better, prettier person than you are, because your inside is full of gross junk, anger at yourself, and just your words don't mean anything to me. But I just, since you mentioned how you watch Monty's panel and want to be so mean about people that come on his panel, I just want to address it in case you're watching. But sorry, I got off
That
topic.
right there, pink sundoll, that right there is exactly why she says all of those things, is because she's filled with hate. It is just seething from
Yes.
inside of her. And she went back and forth. In fact, okay, so I was really stressed out watching it because I was up crocheting late again. And it popped up and I was like, ooh, I'm gonna screen record this because, and then when I started hearing her freak out, I was like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
As it got halfway through, one of my phones decided to mess up and stop screen recording. So I started getting stressed out, like, oh my goodness, I have to get this. And I realized that it missed 45 minutes. So I had to go back 45 minutes and re-listen to that. And at that point, I was just so downtrodden. I was like, oh my God, I don't want to listen to this.
Yes, it just
Because
drains your spirit. It drains your spirit. She's an
she's
energy
draining
vampire.
herself. She's just like going and going and going. And that's my whole point too, is that someone else who's like been extremely drunk on like multiple daily basis, whatever, you wind down. You know what I mean? Like, you're not going to stay at that level the entire 4 hour long. No, you wind down and you calm down, and maybe you need to drink some more. Like, I saw people in her chat and I feel kind of weird about it. Like, do we encourage her to be like, yes, drink some more because then you know that she won't? Or do we tell her, stop drinking because then you know that she will? You know what I mean? But either way, she was going back and forth between, like, I am the absolute, best in the world, and I really hate myself. Tell me that you love me. In fact, I just posted like a song that has a mix of what is it? Bo BoJack Horseman or whatever, where it's like, you need to be better. You can't just keep doing shitty things and then saying sorry like that makes it okay, because it
Mm-hmm.
doesn't.
Exactly. And that's what she's done all her life. And the whole "I love you," Nader tells me "I love you" makes me think that maybe in her childhood she didn't hear that enough from the people in her life. And so anyone telling her that, whether they mean it or not, that's like, like she's attracted to that, like a moth to a flame. Like, oh, they said they love me. It doesn't matter if they mean it or not. They said it. So
It could
she
have
just
been
hooked into them.
conditional, but there becomes a point where, like, I didn't have the best childhood, but I don't get to blame my mom. You know? I don't get to
Right.
blame the things that happened to me while I'm 28 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Not an excuse. You know,
That's,
it's like,
yeah, absolutely true.
grow up, get over it. And she hasn't had any real consequences yet, but her biggest consequence of all is being stuck in that body.
Mm-hmm.
That's on her.
Absolutely.
Like Pink Sundoll was saying before, is like all of this is like coming crashing down, and she's the damage that is going to be the fallout of all this. My biggest worry is that Chantal is not one to go out alone. She's the kind of person who wants to see the house burn to the ground. So if she sees the end coming, whoever is in her sight line is going to be affected. Plus, her family's already going to be affected. Her rage is almost, it's like she enjoys being in that rage. It's almost like a dopamine rush, like the adrenaline is part of one of her highs. And that is frightening, because I remember raging like that when I was a teenager, with fighting with my boyfriend, screaming my guts out, saying whatever vile, horrible thing can come to mind. But then as you grow and mature, you learn to fight fair, you use better language, you temper your emotions. It's like she skipped the entire 20s and mid 30s and just jumped straight to 38 from 16. And one of the things that I've noticed, because I watch a lot of like intervention and addiction stuff and research it for myself as well, is that mental growth is often stunted by heavy drug use, usually starting at the age when you encounter the drugs. So is this drug arc new, or is it old and it's just gotten worse? And she did quite a bit of drugs when she was younger, and that's what's mentally stunted her, perhaps. I don't know. I'm pretty cruisy watching Chantal, but that rage stream really kind of like threw me, because it was really frightening. Like, and oh yeah, her mental health is just scaring me right now, and I don't know if I'll be able to watch her much longer, to be honest.
Honestly, with Chantal, I feel like a lot of it has to do with her not wanting to grow up and not wanting to, because realistically, if you know that you have issues, from childhood or teenager or whatever, once you become an adult and you know you have these issues, that's the point where you should be taking control. And okay, let me figure out what's going on. Maybe, go to therapy to figure it out. I feel like Chantel's using, these, oh, well, I had these problems growing up. I didn't have my dad, or whatever the case may be. And she's still using it into her 30s. And I feel like she definitely knows what's going on. She knows, the manipulation and everything, but she's just using that to her advantage. And it's even at the age she is now, she can still go. I always bring up therapy. I'm going to be a social worker, so whatever. But she can still go and get therapy and work out her issues from when she was a child or a teenager, whatever the case may be. I just don't think she wants to. I think that's really what it comes down to. She wants to use this, oh, pity me, poor me. I didn't have my dad, or whatever the case may be. But you can't really use that into adulthood. If that's the issue, go fix it. You can't just be blaming everything on that. It doesn't work that way.
I think like the way she goes on at people, it's quite a reflection of herself. She goes on about people's body, people's weight, people's faces, people's look. She needs to look at herself in the mirror. If she really wants to keep going on about people, she needs to fix her body, fix her weight, fix her mental health, fix her attitude, That she is old enough and ugly enough. She shows that she knows, but she chooses to ignore it because it's easier to live in the delusion that she's in. It's the safest way, and it's always been enabled. You can't take that behavior away, and she needs to look at herself, and she don't want to. That's it. So she's taken out on other people, which is no excuse now. Race, people's sexuality, where they live, their religion. Like she said, she's going to take one person down with her. It's going to be Nader. And she's always said that. There's no excuse what he's done, but she's always said that. If I can't have him, no one can. So she's going to take everyone with her.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what she really needs to just steer away from, because it's not going to be good for her ultimately to keep trying to go after this guy. It's not going to be good if she doesn't just take a step back and do something. And I don't feel like she is, and it's not going to be good, but everybody's been telling her so. Well, except her VIBs who are stupid, let's just say that. So,
But
I
she
don't
never
think
thinks
that.
long term. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
She never plans long term though. She thinks what feels good in the moment, what is going to ease my anxiety, what is going to quench my desire. She doesn't think my mental health may suffer from this encounter. This will not make me feel good tomorrow. She doesn't feel that shame or that hesitation. It's immediate. It's now. It's dopamine. It's feel good. There's no prior planning to any action. There's no foresight. And that's one of her biggest problems. Her impulses are immediate fixation, obsession, addiction, mental health. Her whatever, I don't even know. I don't even want to guess what mental health condition she's got. There's probably overlapping comorbidities there, but she doesn't think ahead. And it's one of the biggest things that an adult does is they plan for consequences or the best outcome. And she does not do that at all in any way, shape, or form.
Nader is not the only one that she's going to end up taking down when she takes everything down. You can already see, and I've said this before, that like Pete has gone from just having depression and possibly agoraphobia to now he's having, you know, gender identity crises. Like, and he's been openly, I don't, I don't even know how to speak. What is that? Whatever. But like, he's been openly
Thinking about unaliving himself.
ideating.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you. Like, he's not doing okay. And if she ends up, you know, trying to dismantle everything around her just for her own benefit of like revenge or whatever, he is definitely going to fall beside her. But personally, looking back at my life when I decided to make changes for myself, the only reason why I decided to stop punishing myself for something I didn't do. So, like, whatever issues that I had where, you know, I chose to drink them away or shoot up or whatever, like, they weren't my fault, but that was me punishing myself. And the only time that I decided to turn that around was when I had something worth living for. And she just doesn't. And she's never going to choose something because nothing is ever going to be good enough. She said over and over in that stream, why am I sad? Why do I have to continue to be sad? Why am I always sad? It's like, what, you have to choose to travel happily. You know, happy isn't a destination, it's a way of travel, and you have to choose that behavior.
yeah, and honestly, kind of on the topic of Pete's, I I'm gonna put it out there that I personally I don't like Pete's some of the things he says you know, to his chat and yelling and stuff. I don't necessarily agree with all that, but I do feel like when it comes to Pete's and Chantal, I think at this point he's kind of just like he'll agree with things that she says, even though I feel like he personally doesn't feel that way. But I think at this point he's just trying to keep her happy and their, you know, friendship to be good at this point, because he feels like he has, you know, nothing else. If something happens to Chantal, their friendship or whatever, then, you know, I feel like he feels like he doesn't have anything at this point. I mean, that could be me, But I feel like if he had somewhere else to fall back on, because he can't go and live with his mom or whatever the case may be, I feel like maybe if he had something to fall back on, it might not be the case. But as of right now, he doesn't. And so he's just trying, like I said, to keep Chantal happy and their friendship good in order to, keep staying where he is, not be homeless, whatever it is. So I think that's what it is with Pete's at this point.
Cynthia, were you gonna give your thoughts on something? You're on the panel. Are you still there? I guess Cynthia is away. We'll just continue the conversation until she gets back.
Just watching like the Cuba, she had such an opportunity, but we all know she ain't gonna do it. Unfortunately, she is not able to do exploring. Like, let's be honest, she ain't gonna be able to manage to walk, to do sightseeing and see people. That was gonna be impossible. And I think I could see a lot of people being a little bit too harsh with it. I'm like, look how her body is, and that is like, don't be too harsh with that one. But then she kind of played on with it because she'd love to do that. She's a bit of a troll when it comes to stuff like that. And I think her VI idiots, I call them, need to really realise it, that, it ain't gonna be a perfect holiday because it's her. She didn't really want to do it. She only did it, what she said herself, was to prove a point to everyone, because everyone said she weren't going to do it. So she did do it, and that was it. She didn't want to do it. She only did it to prove a point. But then what has she proven? That she just basically had this horrible rant where she just went off the rails and showed her true personality, which is very spiteful, horrible, manipulative. Well, it's not really manipulative because you can tell when she is, but she reveled in it. And you know what? There's no sympathy for any of that. And I think Twitter and everything, people even don't even react to her, saw her hateful spite and kind of going, this isn't okay. And I think, by the end, she's going down as either going to be up in jail or something worse. And you just don't want to think about that, really.
Facts, as I agree with a lot of your points there. Class X says, did anyone catch last night when Chantal called her paid members VI Bidiots and said she's going to make a VI Bidiots club? My mouth dropped. Yeah, a lot of things is being said all over the place. It's very unfortunate, but like she said, it's a fact that as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 VIBs leave, they want to escape the situation, want to escape her channel. More people come in because YouTube, the algorithm, is actively, suggesting her live streams to people, and she seems very unassuming at first if you know nothing about her.
Yeah, she said, join the losers club. We should make a losers club. Y'all are my VI idiots. And then she continued to say VIB idiots over and over and over again. And I'm like, it's bidiots. It's VI idiots, but whatever. She should really stop watching her haters. If she's so concerned about them, like, don't talk about them. We know that you're watching. Not only can we spot it that you're watching when all of a sudden you pick up a replica of Kaya's hat and talk about everything that she's doing because you're up at the same hours. And so you're sitting there watching a woman that you're highly jealous of and just wanting to be her. And then you turn around and do things to like cosplay as her. And then anybody else who has any terminology, you're feeding into it. Like, why torture yourself? And two, like, it's not a good look for someone who's creating a channel that is actually productive in anything.
It was like I said earlier. I think it's Stockholm syndrome. Like, she talks to them any kind of way, and the same people that are paying $5 a month, she was disparaging them because someone said something, and she was like, "Shut up, go back to your $12.99 an hour job," or something like that. Not knowing that who in her chat, maybe that's their hourly rate wage. Maybe they make even less than that, and they're supporting her. They're giving her $5 a month that could be going towards anything else in the world. And she, in one breath is talking about privilege and she hates having so much money, in the next breath, she's telling her BIBs, she's despairing her BIBs about money and telling someone to get out of her chat and go back to their $12.99 job, an hour job. Like it's disgusting. Like, how can you still support someone who is so elitist? They think they're better than you, and her rich girl rat face. Like all that was just so triggering to me. And I try not to. I don't be. Envious is not the word. Like I work every day. I take care of myself. I don't make $30,000 a month, but I take care of myself. And to think that she sits on camera, she does the most disgusting, vile things, break wind and burp and picking her nose and talk about her, body parts and all this kind of stuff. And people, super chat her, and she's making $30,000 doing disgusting things like that. And people, regular people that don't disparage themselves online are counting pennies, counting their money, making budgets, trying to make $1 out of 15 cents, especially with gas being $4 or $5 a gallon, and you gotta get back to work. Can of peas $3 at the grocery store. Like you're trying to make magic happen with little money. You got this woman sitting up here talking about rich girl rat face. It's just disgusting. But sorry, just had to pop in there with that.
No, go ahead. Shell said something about Nader needing a ride. He did need a ride today, right? He had some sort of like appointment, and coincidentally, I think Foodie Beauty should have taken a break. Like she was like nonstop. She left Cuba. She was hungover. She was on a flight. She stayed up late at night, and yet she got up early. What is the reason why she was up early? Could it be that she drove to Montreal and then back to pick him up to go to his
Yes,
appointment?
and was
Yeah,
hanging
I've seen a
out in
few comments
Gatineau
about that.
all day this morning, just driving around in circles in
Yeah,
Gatineau. What should I eat? What should I eat? What should I eat? I could eat this or I could eat that. And she said before that like her biggest thing is just like driving around thinking about where she can eat and how long it takes to get there because of something else that she has to do. And I was like, and that would be, and plus too, when I heard we're going to Gatineau Park, I was like, okay, so you're going to pick up. Good to know. And you're telling us exactly where.
right.
Just
Exactly. It's like she's met up with him and he's like, I need my booger sugar, baby. And she's like, okay, sweetie, I'll go get you your booger sugar. And then she drives to Gatineau Park, picks it up, and acts
Monty,
like we have nothing
Monty,
better.
I see you and all your ugly bitches on this panel.
Grebo, I
Let
hate
me
you.
tell you something. First of all, Dede's old gray ugly pussy, let me show you my pussy. It's young and beautiful. You're just all jealous. Jealous, I tell you. And I
Dang,
did drink
I'm
the
jealous.
entire bottle. The entire bottle. And another thing, you
Wait, is that the same wig?
You got the ritualesque glasses too.
I just noticed that.
jealous. He
The same wig.
sent these to me. I have fans. I have 91,000 fans, and everybody in Cuba loved me.
You were turning heads.
and nobody
Wasn't
back
I
home is
though?
nice
All I
to
can
you.
say right now is relish, Great Grebo. Relish, relish.
How do you feel about relish?
Would you relish? My pussy loves relish. Oh, the relish pussy. So young and supple. Not gray and old pussy. Young and supple pussy.
So you mean,
I'm
wait a
going to post
second,
a picture
Greg
on
Gribble, so
Instagram.
you mean you don't have that Stephen Harper kitty?
Stephen Harper kitty. I drowned him in the tub. He deserved it. Ugh. But I don't understand why everybody. I said I was sorry. I got drunk. I don't remember a thing I said just because I finished every single sentence and didn't space off and go screaming for pee, pee, because I saw something in my closet. Doesn't mean I wasn't drunk. I was totally drunk, you guys, and I'm tired of you guys. A bunch of haters, a bunch of ugly haters. This is my life. You're just jealous. You're just jealous. I can abuse my VIBs and they'll keep coming back and making it rain, baby.
And don't forget you that you supplement Monty's life. So
Oh yeah. Yeah, and another thing, Monty, me and my gorgeous pussy, my young, supple, new, young pussy, I pay your bills. I pay your bills. You are nothing without me. And all
And shouldn't you be giving it up?
What is she giving it to me or somebody else?
somebody said handshake Monty.
lucky.
I need a drink after this. Jesus Christ, I have to go on stream and start crying.
Don't ask her to pass the bottle.
Oh, I meant pee! Bring me my rum! Bitch! Well, anyway, I just thought I would drop in and let all you haters know, all you ugly-ass bitches in here who, you're like, who are you people? I pay your bills. I pay your bills. You are jealous. Anyway, I need to go and not eat edibles. Peace out, you guys.
Oh, wow.
Bye,
Okay.
Chantal Grebo.
She went out as fast as she came in.
If only the real
Wow, that
Chantal
was
were that quick.
That was amazing.
Oh, wow.
The only time the real Chantal is that fast is when she's getting it in.
Oh my god.
Did y'all, when she came on before, did y'all hear how Pete's was like taking up for her and agreeing with everything that she was pretty much saying? But like, I was like, the people that are around her are just as toxic as she is, and she's not going to change her behavior because there's no one around her giving her consequences for her actions. Like, Pete is just as bad as she is.
Both of them can't pick a lane. They can't figure out whether or not they're for like social justice topics or whether or not they're in their own lane all about themselves. Because in one breath, he wants to be in the process of transitioning to be a woman, and then the other breath he can't say the C word. Like, make up your mind, sir, ma'am, person, whatever. You know what I
They're
mean.
both just massive attention hooters, my opinion. Just, and like, I feel bad for me. I can't imagine being so incredibly lost in myself at his age. Like, that's sad. That's very sad. But on the other side of that coin, this is the life he's chosen. He chooses to live with Chantal. There's been plenty of warning signs. And, and all I can say is I will never invalidate anybody's journey, but don't you dare invalidate somebody else's true journey because you need attention. And I'll just, I'll leave it at that, so you do you and do what you need to do. And as far as Chantal goes, still, in my opinion, I still find her entertaining. I'm sorry. She's a horrible human being, but this is, for me, this is what end stage addiction looks like. Chantal was already a terrible person who'd never been told no. She was entitled. She was spoiled. She's immature. And then you add drugs into, and a massive glutton, sloth and gluttony, her two biggest deadly sins. And then you just add in, she is basically the human embodiment of all 7 deadly sins, not that I'm religious, sorry, baby Jesus. But, and then you add drugs to the mix. To me, this is what somebody that never lived a disciplined life, somebody that really never was told no, somebody that had never had faced consequences or had to take responsibility, and now you add drugs into the mix, and this is end stage addiction. And so personally, I think, like, I'm going to enjoy it while it's still here because this is not sustainable. It's just not. Like, I can't believe YouTube didn't do anything. But on the other side of the coin, you get the cow tippers that report everything she does, every minor little infraction, and it turns into the boy that cried wolf. Everybody's always like, she sucks, she sucks. Okay, she parked in a handicap zone. Should you do that? No, when you're not handicapped. But on the other side of the coin, it's not a hanging offense. And so I think YouTube, in a way, has just become numb because she gets, just once again, this is my opinion, she gets so mass reported, but she's getting more and more comfortable. So I think, You know, like I said, just enjoy the show while you can. Is she a vile person? Yeah. The vitriol that was spewing out of her mouth was shocking. Shocking. You know, and if I were Dede, I might lawyer up and get a restraining order or something, because this is stalker behavior, and Chantal has proved she can get her little tubby butt on that plane and fly all the way. She can pick up a can of kerosene and a match and head to somebody's house. She's, like Michelle said, I think she's dangerous at this point. But and then go ahead, hang me in the chat, but I just hope she films the whole thing so that when they have the made for TV movie, they have all the facts straight and there's no embellishments, because like you can't write this kind of crazy. You just can't, you know?
Can I chime in? Someone earlier, when I made my comment earlier about the money thing, and I noticed some comments like people were like compare yourself to, why do people compare themselves to Chantal with the money and stuff? I don't want to be Chantal. Now, I do imagine having access to that type of money, even, $20,000 a month, putting aside, say, 20% for Uncle. Well, I don't know if Canada has an equivalent to Uncle Sam, but putting aside, 20% for Uncle Sam for me, and then, paying my bills and having, say, $10,000 or $12,000 left as play money.
Can you imagine having that much money?
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, having that type of money to travel, save, save toward a home or invest in something. Just having that, pay off my student loans, like just having access to that type of money. And I do imagine that part of Chantal's life. I don't want to be Chantal at all, but I would love to have access to that type of money for the little work that she puts into getting that type of money. That's the envy, quote unquote, I would say, that I have regarding Chantal. But everything else, it's a no-go. So that's what I meant about the money part. I don't envy anything else from Chantal other than the amount of money that she's able to just make for doing absolutely nothing.
I always make myself feel better by calculating. Like so let's say she is pulling in like 12 grand a month. I do the math, like, okay, that's a lot of money in the short term, but then when I divide it out by how many months it's going to need to last, because this isn't sustainable, she's not going to be able to go get any sort of job after this. And so, this potentially might be all the money she makes over the next 5 to 10 years, realistically. And when I do the math, this is how I make myself feel better. Well, first of all, every time I think about how much money she has, oh my God, I go through like investment portfolios and think about what I'd invest in and how much money I'd have when I retired and everything. And then I do the math and think, well, let's see, there's 12 months in a year, and in 10 years, that's a lot of months. It's 120. And I do the math and I realize she's not even making like, minimum. She's not going to be making minimum wage, because when this does end, all that money and all that waste, she's going to have to live with that. Because you know what it's like when you have bills to pay, but you went out last weekend with your buddies and, you footed the bill on a few rounds, and all of a sudden your electricity bill's due and you're like, oh, and you just wish if I just had that money back, or if I just hadn't bought that jacket. So, Yep. And so just let her live with that, because regardless of what she says, she's like, easy come, easy go. Nah, bitch, when you're sitting on your bed and your electricity bill's due and you don't have any money, that runs through your mind. She's like, so
and
like I said,
that leads to how like when you get older, like I work and part of my income goes automatically to a retirement fund. So when I retire, I have, some money to live off of. And I know with YouTube, like taxes and that kind of stuff, you got to do manually. And it makes me think, if Chantal lives to an age where she wants to retire, like, I don't know, like, some people that live in the United States would have access, hopefully, to Social Security. I'm not really near retirement age. I have about 20 years, but we'd have a little Social Security that we would get from the government. But Monty, does Canada have like a pensioners fund or something, like when you hit 65 or 70 that you would
Yeah,
automatically be eligible for, or do you
yeah,
pay into that manually when you work?
yes, we do.
So
The
she
the
would
thing
be able to apply for something like that when she gets
yeah.
old
What
enough.
was Chantal, because she hasn't worked much, and when she has worked, she's not paid her taxes. I don't think she's ever willingly going to pay her taxes. And so when like I think Chantal's karma is she will live quite a long time. She won't have money to fall back on. She can't go get a job. She'll be that horrible, terrible little old lady down the street that throws things at kids at the yard, and the crazy cat lady with 400 cats. And then because she's not really paid into the system, she'll probably be eligible for like the minimum amount of money, but realistically that you can't live well off that minimum amount of money the government's going to give you. And I know we're future tripping so badly, but Chantal, I really truly believe, like, the things that were falling out of her mouth, like, if anybody needed a slap from Will Smith, it was Chantal. Keep everybody's name out of your mouth, bish. And the way she was uh riling people up to go after Dede's mother. And you know what, parents understand children. Like, look at Chantal's mother. Chantal is a horrible human being, but realistically her mother Kim is a completely separate person. So can you imagine if people already go after Kim because of the way Chantal is, and Chantal gets so upset, but yet the hypocrisy, the vitriol that was falling out of her mouth, and the hypocrisy, she then whips up this frenzied mob to go after Dede's elderly mother in a retirement home. Like I said, I pray Chantal is filming for the entire downfall of Rome, because we know Rome didn't burn to the ground in a day. It was a slow decline. And I just hope Chantal's Rome is filmed the entire time, because her karma is going to be living with the consequences of all this smug, sanctimonious trash she's putting out there. So excited. Sorry, I'm a terrible person, but and I will say this, Chantal's like, what are those people? They must obviously all like me. Chantal, I don't like you at all. You serve as the bad example I need to get my ass up and moving every day. I don't want to do my laundry. I'll watch, one of Monty's reactions. All of a sudden, the laundry's done, the dishes are done, the bed is made. I took a shower twice, one for you, one for me. And so, no, she's, like I said, she's the poster child. And my motivation, it's great and it's free.
And you mentioned her mom in her rant. She mentioned something about her family getting on her nerves, or she only has her to rely on, which makes me think
that's her family.
Yeah, it makes me think something happened between her and maybe her mom and her aunt, or I know her uncle. I think her uncle kind of divorced himself from her.
That's just her general feeling about her family in total, because they don't serve her. It's not only just the fact that they answer the phone when she wants them to, or they check up on her every once in a while. It's the fact that they don't actively serve her. And so therefore, screw them. Why am I going to put an effort towards you when you don't do this, that, the other for me? And like, I've been holding on to it for a minute, but did anybody hear that song that she was playing, and there's a lyric in it like, I'll stalk you, and she's like, did it just say that? Oh my god. I'm like, I didn't even
she's
know
such a
that
stalker.
it said that.
She is such a stalker.
And you know what, she'd be lucky. I will tell you, after sitting my butt in jail, I was like, I would much rather be sitting under an underpass right now, hungry, asking random people who drove by for nickels and dimes instead of sitting here in this cell. But if she continues with her behavior, she won't have a pensioner's check. She's going to be sitting in a place where her food, shelter, and clothing are all provided for her. And
her limited food, very limited. She won't be happy. Like that.
Right. And there's no way to, take care of yourself. You know what I mean? Unless you want to like flush your sheet down the toilet. So she's gonna.
I couldn't imagine Chantal doing that. I worked in a worked as a correctional officer in my younger days, and the breakfast was at 3 a.m. Breakfast was at 3 a.m. Lunch was like at 10 a.m. and dinner was like at like 3 p.m. or something like that. There's no way I can imagine Chantal. Well, I mean, I guess she could, because she doesn't go to bed really till about 3 or 4. So I guess she could get breakfast, but she would totally miss like lunch because she would be sleeping, and probably dinner. So I couldn't imagine her on someone else's schedule, because you can't say, oh, I don't feel like getting up. I don't feel like doing this. I don't want to do that. I don't feel like shower. Well, she probably, the shower thing probably would be fine with her. But you're on a regimen.
Imagine her bucking for count.
Oh my God.
Right? Like count time. If somebody messed up count time, all the rest of us would be, TO.
Oh yeah,
So
she'd get a beat
imagine
down
her
in the
messing
shower.
up count time.
Yep. I can imagine her not being where she needs to be for count time, having to waddle up and down the corridors to go to med call, or hobby craft if she wanted to go to hobby craft, like trying to be having to be on a schedule that is totally made for you, like, and having to do what someone else says, which is totally 100% against everything she stands for, because she's I do what I want. But when you're in the custody of the state, or you got to do what they say, whatever the correctional officer says, that's what you got to do. So I can't imagine her being in the hole, because she
I just pray that regardless of what happens, she keeps that camera rolling. So we have the sweet footage of the utter depravity that this woman is subjecting herself to for, it's like, go, like, you might think you're the big bitch in the yard. No. But like for to me, $12,000 a month, holy crap, I could live an entire year off that. 20,000, oh my God, I would feel like I won the lottery. But realistically, that's chump change. They say, money screams, wealth whispers. Chantal is not rich, and even $20,000 a month, even $12,000 a month, in the big scheme of things, she's not that rich. So let her think that she's this high roller with all this money, and just keep burning her money and just keep filming it. I really truly, like Natty, that dude can pack sand. I can't stand that guy. And Dede, she's as crazy as he is, but I don't wish ill on people. I don't want to see innocent people go to jail. I don't want to see people getting harmed, and I just worry that Chantal, she's going to end up actually harming people before this is over, and then I guess
she's gonna hit someone high. I'm afraid that she's gonna have an accident while she's high. And macabre as this is, like, usually when that happens, it's the person that's intoxicated usually is the one that walks away with no injuries, and the other party usually
it's always the innocent bystander that gets hurt. It always is. I don't know. It's just it's gross.
She wouldn't feel true remorse for it anyway.
No, she wouldn't. No, she would not.
I really honestly think that, like, her whole idea of, like, you can't shame me and all of this kind of stuff is she is choosing to be completely detached from all of those feelings and just completely negate any sense of normalcy for all of the emotions that she could harbor and does harbor. And it just completely loses any sense of reality to her. I mean, she really could not care about anybody else because she doesn't care about herself, and she believes that she has, no shame or anything like that because she has cut herself off from it. And until she chooses to, join in with the rest of us in, reality, she's going to live in a fantasy land. And so much so where, like, if she did end up hurting someone, it would not matter to her.
Delusions is a powerful thing, and she loves to live in her own little world. She does. But also, quick thing, Monty, I was looking at the chat, your favourite guy was here.
Yeah, I saw that. He was giving us compliments.
Hi. Sorry, I had to say it.
I missed him.
That was
Yeah, you missed
sarcastic,
it
wasn't
all. I
it?
can't be
Giving
known.
us
I was kind of getting into the
compliments.
chat. I
Okay.
was. That was the most distracting thing for me. But with Foodie and all of them, they're all just pieces of trash, let's be honest. And it's such a guilty pleasure. We can all sit here and keep suggesting that, but we all secretly, it's kind of a guilty pleasure for everyone. You know, who doesn't love watching a train wreck that it goes on? Like, people have this day-to-day life, you know, there's normal people in the world, but she does it live and we see it. And unfortunately, if you're going to show it to people, you've got to take backlash. Probably even me showing my face here might be some hypocritical, and people might call me out for that, and I might have to go, oh yeah, that sounds a bit, you know. But if you show yourself, you've got to make sure you're accountable and you know what it is and what you're talking about, and keep to yourself. But Foodie can't do that. She likes to spin her own story to make her look the better one. Well, never really works because she can't use her brain too much, but you know, she can't do it properly. Like, if she could do it well, then good for her, but she can't really. It's quite sad.
What do you think about this new Beezer show episode? Do you think that she'll actually put any effort into like faking it? Because I would love to see her actually split.
It is her split personalities. I love it. I think she's like embracing the madness, and you know what? Good for her. You do, you boo. You know, go ahead.
Enjoy it while it's here, because this isn't sustainable. And yeah, it's like, I don't hate Chantal, and she thinks we watch her because we love her. No, you serve as a bad example, and everybody always wonders, what if I threw all social convention out the window and just did whatever I wanted? Well, we can see how that's working out. And I'm sure it probably feels good to her in the moment, but anybody that's up at 3 a.m. ranting for 6 hours, that doesn't scream happiness to me. That screams as a dire warning. Don't do this, guys.
Right. And she was in paradise and then said that she wants to go to some place with culture. And I'm like, you haven't been outside of the resort. Like, I would have been, you know, to Havana and went to the cigar shop and, you know, went to an authentic Cuban restaurant and just explored where I was. Like, Cuba's full of culture. It's
wherever Chantal goes, there she is. And she is such a miserable fop of an individual and think about it, Nader and Dede are living rent-free in her brain 24/7. That must be satisfying for them, you know, and this whole, oh, woe is me, Chantal, you are not a victim. You are a volunteer at this point, and it's your choice. So
I just gotta say something. Just saw someone on the chat said my name. Fish Pondoon. I think it's probably a troll, but anyway, I don't support a bold bigot, but you do you, boo. You think that's your decision. I know what you can have the entitled for the wrong opinion. That's what I'm gonna say.
Someone's being mean in the comments.
Yeah, but you know, I don't know what's going on.
Apparently, I'm like Chantal. Woo!
Oh, well, you did have the wig, though. Like, I have to say, you did come in with a good grand entrance of Chantal.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm secretly a sociopath.
The thing that's infuriating is that people are treating her like she is a 38-year-old grown woman that people are ass patting her and excusing her behavior, and then when someone calls it out, and it's like you can't say something to her too harshly. You have to put it on a spoon and spoon feed it. Like, for an example, when Charlie Gold, I love Charlie Gold. When Charlie Gold comes at her and says and calls her out on the things that she do, people get upset because they say, oh, you said it too harshly. And I don't think that Charlie Gold was saying it too harshly. I think that she's being real and speaking to Chantal the way that she should have been spoken to years ago. I think her parents just let her run wild because I remember when she was younger, she said she was like telling us stories about how she was as a child, but there was no consequences for that. Her grandmother always bailed her out. I'm pretty sure when her mother said A, her grandmother said B. So she has no sense of adulting, and it's just frustrating. And the people in her VIBs, they must be it's just crazy how she expects people to give her ass pats, and the people in her VIB, they're scared to say something to her because they're afraid that she's going to yeet them off. But you're paying her.
You're afraid of somebody you're paying.
Right. That's the thing. Like, you're paying her to verbally abuse you, manipulate you, gaslight you, and I don't get it, because if y'all have family members that act like this in your personal life, would you accept that behavior? My daughter's 28 years old. There's no way in hell I would accept that type of toxic behavior from her. Like, my daughter's 28, and things that she does now that I don't agree with, I'll get all in her ass. I don't give a damn how old you are. I'm gonna get in your ass, because I'd rather get in your ass than you get out there in the streets and somebody else put a bullet in your ass, so your ass is in jail. She just has no sense. I don't
awareness.
I just don't understand. Like, what is her? I'm not saying like her family should be responsible for her because she's 38 years old, but where are the consequences and the boundaries? No one is setting consequences and boundaries of her. I would have been so embarrassed. My daughter does some bullshit like that, I'd have cut her off. And that should, like, you're not going to get on here and embarrass me like that. Embarrass yourself like that. She is just.
She said her mom was proud of her. Somebody asked her on one of her streams, and she's like, "My mom is proud of me."
And her mother's a piece of shit, also. I'm
you have to remember, this is filtered through Chantal, and Chantal lies.
Right.
Like, her mother may have sat her down and gave her a come to Jesus talk, and maybe she only sees her on her birthday and Christmas because her mother's a charitable woman. Like, look, I love you, but I don't like you.
But then her mother needs to cut her off and set some boundaries.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just got to do tough love.
Because but can you do that at 38 though? Like, can you start setting boundaries with someone at 38?
Well, you cut people.
You can always start setting boundaries. As an addict, I'll tell you what, my mom, after I went to jail and everything like that, the second time that I got arrested, you bet my sleep behind, I called her and she's like, don't even call me. Don't even call me. Don't ask me for nothing. You don't get no shampoo, no money for shampoo, nothing. Don't call me. Click.
If anybody is not aware, DLF seems to be sniping us right now. So if you have
Hi,
any
DLF.
words.
Hi, DLF.
Is cool. Lovejoy is cool.
Hi. I love when people watch us. I just love that. I just love this because, like, in my real life, I not really that petty, and I don't get into things like this, but I just love it. I'm just like, this is such a guilty pleasure.
It's a guilty pleasure. It's like all the things.
Got to pony up that money. Monty got to pony up that money for that gimbal. You owe DLF.
There's like some things I don't agree with, like some people say on this panel and stuff, but I just love different views and opinions because it's always good to agree to disagree. And I think it's always good to see different people's opinions with what's going on with Chantal, because you got to think sometimes you can get in that right mindset of just thinking, oh, you know, all of that. But then, like, sometimes you can see a different view as well, which kind of opens up to different discussions. And I think that's like the best thing.
Yeah, I agree with that too, because it's like that's what it's called, you know, civil discourse. Like we can agree to disagree, and the thing is I've said this before. Like, I come on the panel, I have really strong opinions. Shocking, but I'm a really opinionated person. But I always show up to the tea party with only half a cup, because if I come waltzing in with my cup already full, I have nothing left for the host to add to my cup. So you know, and I have changed some opinions just from listening to literally people from around the world, you know, input on this. And as far as the thing as Chantal's family goes, I have to say, I got to agree. Remember Yaba said she would kick in that door and rip the router right out of the wall? Yes. I swear to God, if one of my brothers or sisters or somebody in my family was doing this, oh my God, I would go in through the door with a sledgehammer and I would literally rip the wires out and be like, no,
because she's going to come across the wrong person on the right day that she going to pop off with, and they're going to kick her ass. Because
Yep.
she's one of these internet thugs. Half of the stuff
Yep.
that she says about Dede, I'm pretty sure she won't say to her face. Half of the stuff
She
that she
would.
says to most of these people, she won't say it to their face. And
Exactly.
I'm not like saying like big up to living in New York. I live in New York, and it's the way that you conduct it. It's certain things you just can't. You got people showing up to people's homes for what they say on the internet to whoop their ass.
Mhm.
Like, at what point
Some
does
people go
Chantal
from 1
grow
to
up?
11 really quick.
Yep.
I don't understand. At what point do you grow up? I mean, this has to be tiring. And the thing that pisses me off was she'll use her past. Everyone has a story. You know what I'm saying? We don't use that as an obstacle to be a shitty ass person. Like, my mother was a drug addict. I was in foster care. My twin sister, Passionate Liebers, that's my twin. Like, we grew up in foster care. My mother was a drug addict. I could have used my past as an excuse to be a shitty parent, but I saw that I didn't want to be nothing like my mother. None of my kids has been in jail. I live in the projects, and y'all know how it is living in the projects. None of my kids been in jail. None of my kids get in trouble. You know, I'm in college. I want a better life.
Good
At
for
what
you.
fucking point does she grow the fuck up? Like, you can't
I
use
don't
your
think-
past as an excuse, as an obstacle, just to be a all-around shitty ass person. And then when
never
people call her
faced
out on it,
consequences,
right? And
Cerinthia,
when people
that
call
she's
her
just
out on it, it's,
never.
oh, you shouldn't have said it that way, or why did you say? No, call that bitch out. Because if she was in
Feelings
my
are meant to be
motherfucking face,
hurt.
popping all that shit, she'd have been on the floor.
Well, I think she's the
a
safety
shitty
lies,
person.
and she lives in Canada, and people in Canada are known for being extremely nice. So,
She got
Apparently
a
not
good
nice
old
in the
enough.
ass
United
New
States.
York ass whooping.
Yeah, if she was in
A
some place
good
like
old
New
New
York,
York
like,
ass
she would have got mollywopped. But Canada people are known for being super duper nice. So people would just look at her crazy, and then
Well,
I'm just making based on what I've heard. Monty, you could.
She
I
came
don't
back
think-
to Canada saying that people weren't waving to her, and so therefore they weren't nice and blah blah blah. And she's so entitled, just the way as DLF thinks that Monty owes him a gimbal. She thinks that because she's content for Monty, that Monty needs to put out, and so it's a whole situation where Chantal just doesn't really understand. Plus, too, at the same time, I think about it like, okay, so like some of us go from 1 to 11 really, really quick. Like, please don't come at me sideways. I might have to swerve the first time, but the second time we're going to have problems. And she just, I mean, why would you want to lay hands on her though? You'd really you'd knock her down and be like, I don't feel big and bad about myself. That was not very fun. But I mean, if you really knew her, you'd be like, but still, I mean, nobody's really going to come after her for all the things that she says because look at her.
I'm not laughing at you. The fact that you told that Monty needed to put out for Chantal was hilarious. Monty,
That's what she said. She was like, I know that he's got that BBC, and I was like, ma'am, that is so rude. At least hit him up. My goodness.
buy him a drink first. Just buy him a drink or buy him dinner first.
Nah, I wouldn't even. I don't think Monty would even want to do that. You have to do a lot of trauma casing that one.
I don't know. She might put me onto some browns.
Or you could have a starfish. Woo!
Yeah, can you imagine?
Oh, I'm so jealous.
I can see it in your face, the jealousy.
I know. I'm so mad. Confirms that I'm definitely gay. So. Confirms my sexuality. This does. I will have to say about parents and stuff. You never have to become a product of what your parents are. If you haven't ever had good parents, there's always friends, there's always other families, support systems. Make sure you get the right numbers and the right help. And I always will say that. That's, I think, like with mental health and everything, if anyone feels like that, use your numbers, use your support systems that are out there. Sometimes it could be a bloody pain in the ass to get it, but once you do, it's really good. And you've got to make sure that you do it and don't back out, don't do anything. You've got to be 100% on it.
Amen.
Right. sometimes
And
the
she
family. You
has
made
the
a good
money
point.
and the
Sometimes the
resources
family.
to get these things, and
But
that's
she doesn't want to. You
it's
can't.
just so
You can't force someone that
sad.
doesn't want it. I didn't want help for my mental health, and I kept refusing to the point I broke down, and I went mental and really horrible, really delusional. I was in my own little world at one point, but I wanted to help, and then I got my help, and then I'm back at college. I'm doing things. You never ever have to become products of what people say that you're going to be. That's just it. And Chantal, as much as excuses she needs, she does need the help deep down. We all know it. It's a fun to laugh, have a watch, but then deep down, we all got to think about reality. Even though how much of a horrible person she is, she needs the help, but she won't get it. And we can keep talking about it, but she doesn't want it. So then we don't have to feel sorry for her until she doesn't.
You can't want more for somebody than what they want for themselves. Though.
Exactly. You get treated the way you treat other people, and you should get it back. If you talk to someone nasty, get it 100% back. Mm-hmm. I've done that. I was quite rude at someone. Person talked rudely back, and I was like, "Oh, how dare you talk to me like that?" But then, I had to think about it. I was actually quite rude first, so you need to start realizing it.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Absolutely. She's in much pain. You can tell when she gets up how much pressure there must be on her knees and whatever, just the laboring that she goes through, literally getting up out of her seat, like on her couch. So not only is she in physical pain from, what she's done to herself, but somebody made a really good point. I believe it was in your stream, Monty, in chat, where they were like, she obviously can't sit with herself at night, like with her own thoughts. And that was her problem in Cuba, why she had so many rages at night, was because she didn't have a way to get her original drug, which was food, at night. And so she just sat there and raged, because now that she's home, we expected, either a super apology or her to continue to rage. But she was completely fine once she got to order her food, and she was sitting on her couch, stuffing her face, and you could see the feelings going down with it.
Very good point, Jessica. I think a lot of people are agreeing with you that she cannot be alone with her thoughts. Bubble-headed disco biscuits. I agree with you as well.
I can't be alone with my own faults with my own mental health at times. I have to use distractions. I have to do things. Sometimes just sitting alone, thinking about things can be the worst thing. And I have some horrid thoughts at times, but then I've got to realise that's not true. That's not real. Got to get over it, put a line through it, and get on with it. And unfortunately, she's lost so many people because she can't help herself. So why will people give effort? If you give all the effort and then she doesn't want to do it, and she can, and then YouTube and people and all money, it's money. Money do change people, and I would never want her money. It is literally embarrassment money. It's sad.
Do you suppose her family really does treat her differently now that she has money, that they ask her for money or expect things from her?
No.
I think maybe only one person in her family asks her for money or anything along those lines, and that's Phyllis, her aunt. That's
Auntie Rasta.
Yeah. Everybody else, for the most part, don't give a shit.
I suspect that Auntie Rasta is actually a lot like Chantal. She's just an older version. It just the vibes I get is
exactly.
That's probably why they get along so well. Is crazy recognizes crazy. So.
You suppose the rumors Nader was spreading were sort of true, that maybe she had a cabana boy at one point and then passed it off to Chantal or something in that vein?
Oh, that story.
Liar after liar. It's so difficult.
I'm not sure
if that's
true.
I buy that one. I don't think I buy that one.
The story that's been brought up is that Rasta Auntie, Aunt Phyllis, had a boyfriend and engaged in a threesome with that boyfriend and Chantal. That is what Nader alleged like a month and a half ago.
Stuff like that needs to stay indoors in family. Does not need to be out. It does not need to be talked about. You know what I mean? That is the in-house. That's something that needs to be talked about within the circle, not outside the circle. I won't have any comment with that. I wouldn't put anything because it's it's more of a family issue that needs to be dealt with the family. I think people can have inputs. I'm not saying you can't have an input of what to say, but I think that one's really it's like with the D's, you know, her domestic violence. She should have never brought that up. Never should have talked about it. That's her experience. No one can take that away from her. No one can spin it into an advantage point. It's something that is very in-house. People do have private lives, and Chantal is so used to sharing it to everyone, and then Nader takes advantage of that by saying it because he knows what Foodie will get like. It's tit for tat, and it's one of those situations where I think that one needs, you know, not to be like too much brought. I'm not, you know what I mean? It's one of those situations where it's there's more to the story.
So maybe do you think maybe the whole somebody just called her Auntie Fun Times? Maybe Auntie Fun Times had a maybe she did have a threesome with someone else and not Chantal, and maybe told Chantal about it and told Nader, and he embellished, but she allegedly also told him that her mom was having an affair on her stepdad with someone else. So it's like, you know, I think you mentioned earlier, is Aza Kebab, that she says her stories and there's little granules of truth within her lies. So you don't know what pieces are true and what pieces are not. And
you could see it. You could tell when she's telling the truth because she'll repeat the same story, and then there's same words, and she'll say exactly the same every time, but then she'll change a narrative, and it's very, very subtle, but you can notice. It's a bit sad that I've noticed, but that's only because I just listen whilst I'm cleaning and doing hoovering, because I've got things to do, you know. And then you kind of just re-listen to some of it. You're like, well, you just said the same story, but you've just changed a little bit, but it's like a whole different story.
Right, and that's the weird thing about her. And I know she told a story before of having a threesome with a couple where she messed up their bathroom or something. They didn't have, I don't know if they didn't have toilet paper or something, and she wiped her butt on the wall, or somehow
it's the
stuff ended up all over the bathroom wall. But then she called Dede and Nader sexual deviants for having a threesome with Shushu. So it's like pot meet kettle. Like either you're into it or you're not. And there's nothing wrong with either way. No kink shaming at all. But you can't call them sexual deviants. But then you talked about you've had threesomes before with other people, you know, way back when, and you technically had one. If what's true about her going, you know, to town on Dede, you technically had one then. I'm sorry. This is what she
100% believe the broomstick story now, because this is another time that she has brought up the broomstick thing, and this time she brought it up as a way to weaponize it towards someone else. Like during her rage or whatever, she was like, you go use a broomstick. And it's like, okay, so do we have something to talk about with the broomstick, Chantal? I mean, listen, you know.
And she was a warrior for domestic violence, like, what, a month ago? And then she said something like that about Dede's experience with domestic violence, but she wanted to save Dede a month ago, you know, and take her from Nader's house back to Montreal to save her. You know, it's like, you can't have it both ways. Either...
always a bad idea. Imagine getting in the car with her. She'd be one of those people that would drive high speed at a wall and be like, tell me that you're going to break up with him.
Right.
Lock the doors.
Yep, exactly. Like, I hope Dede would not fall for that and get anywhere near. Like, I'm surprised she let her in her apartment, her condo. There's no way she would have came through my door. No way. At all.
Oh, I can't think about it. I grabbed my pillow to hide. I'm literally like that. I need my hug box.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to traumatize you.
It's fine. I've been in worse situations, traumatizing situations than listening to. So I guess I'll survive.
We're trauma bonding here.
Is anybody hearing Ray Ray?
We can't hear you, Ray Ray.
I keep seeing seeing them speak, and I can't hear anything.
Yeah, I can't
Yeah,
hear you, Ray Ray.
yeah. Ray, maybe you should exit and come back in. That's best. Somebody just told me Chantal is live again. Um, Let me try and refresh and see what she's up to.
Oh my god.
I'll just
She's
say
probably
it
gonna be cussing
again.
us out.
I hope she
Oh, it's a
snipes this or watches this, but I'm just gonna say, Chantal, we don't. I don't watch you because I love you. I watch you because you serve as an example of what happens when I let my baser instincts take over. And I have that in me where it's so easy to be lazy, and so you are a motivator. You should charge people to be a motivation. Just film yourself 24/7 and charge people to watch you, because I'm telling you, it gets my ass off the couch and doing the vacuuming and the wash and everything like that. So it's not love, but it is
So
entertaining.
so the other night when Buddha was signing off, she was saying how like Chantal had inspired her to basically go out and like explore the world and whatever. And it's moments like her rage stream the other night, and also her one stream when she was like raging while driving, that really gets me to start doing something with my life, where I'm like, okay, so I have a list picked out of new psychologists that maybe I will, go and have a meeting with. And then, I plan to volunteer next week again. And all of those types of things. Like I got myself a double jogging stroller so that I can start, walking with, the kiddos and stuff like that. Because I mean, and even so with her driving and whatnot like that, I was like, I've chosen not to drive for a long time because of my own mental illness. And I'm like, I've done a lot of work. Perhaps I should work on getting my license again and, making a video about that, whatever, because I'm also in the same state with Amber Lynn, and considering the way that she acts like it's impossible to get a license, or she teeters between impossible and it's so easy. She could just walk in and take the test. It's not that easy. But anyway, those are the streams of Chantal's that gets me like, okay, I need to start working on this so that I don't end up like her, because I personally believe that we share the same mental illness. I believe that she has borderline personality disorder, but that hers is wildly exacerbated through psychosis based off of drugs. And I mean, I've been there before, but like, girl, you should really work on that before it becomes terminal. Because I've been told by medical professionals before that that specific mental illness, because it's a personality disorder, can be terminal. You can die from it because of your own behaviors. So like, you
Yep.
really need to change.
Yeah. But, and you and I'll just say, like, and then I like I said, Chantal's behavior is addict 101 behavior at this point. So she already had so many things wrong, but you add drugs to the mix, you cannot convince me that anything can change until she addresses the drug addiction. She that's a, like, I'll die on this hill. It's just like, this is addict 101 behavior. Anybody that's ever been around addicts, the things that she says and does, it's just standard, and the drugs just exasperate all these other things. And you cannot get mentally well as long as you have drugs in your system. You're just, it's not possible, because you're so chemically goofed up. You never deal with anything. And it seems like every time Chantal hits her rock bottom, man, her rock bottom has another basement.
Rock
Yeah.
Period, point blank, with all addicts, rock bottom is death unless you choose your
Mhm.
rock bottom. Like, I love Peter
Yep.
Mon, praying for him
Mhm.
every single day. His saying, like, have a good day unless you have other plans. If you're having a bad day, you can change it right now and
Mhm.
your bottom. Like,
It's
all those things are so true. And she has the kind of money where, like, she did so well in Cuba. It was like some sort of behavioral resort for her at that point, where she still misbehaved. But anyway, like, she could pay for a very, very nice rehab facility that is akin to that. She's talking about taking vacations where she can't drink. Like, have you ever heard of, any of the rehabs that we advertise for in the United States, like in Florida or in California or whatever, like go there. Go have fun. Go learn to live normal.
But she would have to do what someone tells her to do, though, and you know that's not Chantal's MO. Is to do what anyone tells her to do. So she wouldn't last 24 hours.
With money, though, they let those people just get away with it. For real, if you keep paying that daily rate of like $1,500, you can sit there until you decide to join group. You can sit there until you decide to go to yoga class or go down to the resort pool or beach with the group. Like, they'll entertain you, I promise.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is not, these pay to play type places are so, I mean, they're just they're glorified,
Vacation.
resort. Yeah. It's like and Chantal does have the kind of money, and yeah, and I'll just finish with this is like the one thing that's, like I said, it's so painful to watch Chantal, because it's like it's like watching a 5-year-old where you're like, don't do that, it's gonna hurt, and you watch them pick up the hammer, and you're like, don't do that, it's gonna hurt, and they smack their arm with it, or you know what I mean, and you're just like, oh, I told you. But Chantal is just so defiant, and like Bobble had said, with the drug addiction, and then you add in the BPD, and I don't know, she hasn't been diagnosed, but Chantal did say, she, in her old videos she's deleted, she was told things like this by mental health professionals in the past, but she did not like what they told her, because she wanted a bipolar diagnosis, or manic depressive bipolar type 2. She wanted that diagnosis, so she didn't like hearing these personality disorder. If anybody in chat can remember, but way back when, she would sit in her car and do these tell-alls, and she brought up borderline personality stuff, and she didn't like that diagnosis, so she fired those doctors. So
it's all
go ahead, Bobble.
Because she's a drug addict. Like, when she was taking the Vyvanse, she messed that up for herself. She went and told that professional, like, oh, I took more than was prescribed on this day, and then I chose not to take it on these days. And they were like, you're doing what now with a controlled substance? No, write that in her chart. She can't be prescribed this anymore. And then as like wanting a bipolar, which they don't even get good meds. Like, what do you want a mood stabilizer?
I think that with the bipolar, for some reason she sees, because with bipolar, that's considered more of a quote unquote mental illness. There tends to be a physiological reason for that, versus you get into personality disorders, and I'm not saying they're any less legit, but those tend to be more psychological. Like, there is no pill, there is no cure, there's nothing you can do except change you. And I don't think she was happy with this disorder diagnosis, because it's all on her. She wanted the fuzzy feel good, it's not my fault, that this is pathological, there's nothing I can do. And she doesn't ever want anything to be her own fault. She never wants to have to put any work in. I mean, she's that addict that shows up to a meeting and is like, I have to have 5 years by Friday or I'm going to die. She wants what she wants, and she wants it right now, and she refuses to work for anything. And until she gets it through her head that she is not a victim of circumstances, she is a volunteer. And so nothing will change for her. And I just, like I said, I keep saying this, and I know I sound like a broken record. Welcome to my world. Try living in my head. But I'm just here for the ride, because she serves as a stark reminder of what happens. And I said this before, if I give into my baser instincts, if I don't work on me on a daily basis, because any of us could become the next Chantal if we just continually fed, our did what we want all the time instead of what needed to happen. It took no responsibility. So
can you guys hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. I just wanted to kind of throw in with the whole bipolar versus what she may be or whatever, her wanting that bipolar diagnosis. I honestly feel like it's because like back in the day, even up to, not that long ago, bipolar was basically the diagnosis. You have these criteria, you're bipolar. It automatically went to being bipolar. And these new criteria that are not new, but these criteria that are coming up for these other diagnoses, it's more of like, because there's a lot of people who were diagnosed as bipolar years ago, and now it's coming to show that they might not actually be bipolar. They might have something else, but it's just that at that time they were just throwing out bipolar diagnosis. And I feel like she wants that bipolar diagnosis because people like hear bipolar and they're like, oh my God, like, are you okay? You're bipolar. And she wants that attention for being bipolar that she feels she can't get if it's another diagnosis. And so I feel like that's one of the things is she wants the attention of like, you're bipolar, oh my gosh, because that's what some people do. They hear that and they automatically like, okay, what you do is okay, what you're saying is okay because you're bipolar, which isn't the case. Like I said before, and I'll keep saying it, if you're not getting help, being bipolar doesn't matter. Now, and I also feel like this is what I feel like, especially when she was mentioning this stuff before, I think she wanted that bipolar diagnosis because I think she feels like she would have more like rights to disability or things like that. If say her channel were to go down, she can go in and be like, oh, I'm bipolar. And she thinks that she can automatically get money because she's bipolar, which now isn't necessarily the case. So I feel like she had a real reason, because I saw that as well. And I feel like she had a real reason to want to be diagnosed as bipolar instead of something else. And I feel like it's all kind of, ulterior motives, but I feel like she definitely had reasons for wanting that bipolar diagnosis.
And that makes sense too. That really does. When you put it that way, it does. It makes sense. And I'll just tack on. Do you know how many drug addicts that still have things under control? Like they haven't hit that point where they're spinning out to the point get diagnosed as bipolar because of the crazy mood swings, because of the withdrawals, and they don't have their coping mechanism and stuff like that. So that's another really standard thing, is that substance abuse disorder that isn't blatantly obvious will get diagnosed as bipolar. That's a very common thing. Apparently DLF wants to see our degrees. Dragon Lord Frodo, I don't have to show you shit, dude.
I mean, if you want, I have mine over here. I can go grab
I've
it.
got
Dragon Lord photo. I'll show you my degree when I graduate with my bachelor's in January. I've
got one.
Degree, baby.
I've got one, guys. I've got it for being a queen bee. So
yes,
I love it. It's so good. I'm being a UK hun.
There you go.
And it's like she can live a productive life. Like everyone up here has something going for them. Yes, we all have struggles and things that we go through, but you just choose to be a good person. Like it must just be so tiring to be her or to be around her. I just couldn't. I would be that friend that I would just be in her ass all goddamn day. I would just be very blunt to her. She would hate the hell out of me.
But she doesn't have any that are around her. Like, look. I mean, she has peace, but Shannon's gone.
An emotional vampire. She is an emotional vampire, and she must be so exhausting. Can you imagine sitting in a room with somebody that is so self-absorbed? It's probably exhausting. It really probably is.
She probably just sucks the life right out of you.
I think,
and that's why nobody's there. Did she have a friend named Raina? Look like whoever that is got the hell on. Rena
bounced. They've all bounced.
Yeah. I think like when she does have her outbursts, like I don't feel any sympathy. I don't, because she's had years to sort things out and she doesn't want to. So you can't just feel sorry you can't feel like any sympathy. But when I used to go to my manic states, it was so draining. You get to that point where you're just so drained and so fed up, you just burst, and nothing is okay and nothing's all right. And that's probably where she does get it from. She just has this massive meltdown, of course, coming out from not having her THC, not having her hug box not really there, not having Pete's going up to her and telling her to stop when she gets to that level, because we have all noticed Pete has done that before. I think she had no one there. She actually has realised she doesn't really have anyone really, and basically we all got another person to react to or watch. You know, when she's gone, there's a new person. She ain't that special.
And she done destroyed her reputation so bad. I can't even imagine employers wanting to employ her. Like, because now they go on your Facebook, they check you out. I just can't imagine after this is over, there's no more YouTube for her. What is she going to do? She won't have any loved ones around that truly have her best interests at heart. And it's just sad. I know we keep saying, like, don't harp on her parents, but they dropped the ball somewhere. And like I said, like, my oldest son is 28. He's schizophrenic. And I made sure as a parent that I got him the proper services, the medication. I stayed up on his doctor's appointments. Like, you just can't drop the ball. At some place, her parents or whoever was around her just dropped the ball and just let her loose. And she's just running amok. I just can't, and she just can't use her she hasn't been diagnosed, but her mental illness as an excuse to just be a fucking jackass. Like I said, my son is 28. He's schizophrenic. He don't walk around here cussing people out and not doing, like, he's been diagnosed with that. And I knew that once he got that diagnosis, I had to make sure he had the proper services and care and guidance. She just can't use. She's just so exhausted.
I think the bottom line for me is, like, I truly believe some people are just jackasses. And Chantal just reminds me, I knew somebody like her in high school that the parents spoiled them rotten. They never were told no. There were never consequences. And then finally, when they got old enough to move out, the parents couldn't wait to be done with them because they're an exhausting, entitled, self-centered fop of a human being, you know. And so they're just like, okay, I love you, go right. You know, she'll figure it out. And she's just yet to actually face any actual consequences. She has her hug box set up and she's starting to spew a lot more hate. I feel she's really ramping up the amount of hate, but once again, she's got a screen between her and her audience. But one of these days, if we're lucky, she's going to lose touch with reality enough where she will start spewing that in public. And let me tell you, that there can and will be consequences if you start speaking and acting like that in public. You know what I mean? Because somebody will take offense and they may take her up on, you know, challenge accepted. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Somebody might walk up to her and say, check it out, cupcake. So, you know, at this point, I think she's insulated, and that rage she had going, you know, she was just letting it all out. I'm sure she was that kid that used to throw herself on the floor in the store and scream and yell, and you know what I mean? Where everybody side eyes the parent, like, are you gonna do something about that? You know, do you need some help?
Well, you know, she kind of grew up. I guess her mom was like really young when she was born, like less than 20. And her grandmother had her for her first however many years. And then I guess once her mom got settled and got married, then she brought Chantal back in. But then she had Chantal's sister. And so I think I saw somewhere else where someone mentioned, like, it's like her mom got her second chance in her family. And so Chantal kind of felt like outside of that. Like she kind of was the outsider because they were all connected. Because her dad was never in her life, from my understanding. I think Monty said he lives in Windsor, which is where she went for that failed OnlyFans thing with Carly. And I don't know how close she is to her stepdad. I mean, she probably gave him hell. Or maybe she didn't, because it seems like she likes men more than women. But she gave her sister hell. And every time you see pictures of her with her sister looks absolutely miserable.
Can we just say happy birthday, Jill, quickly? Happy birthday, just Jill.
Happy birthday.
Chantal, by her own admission, was terrible to her sister, and she said she called it like only child syndrome, and she liked being the center of attention, and she liked being spoiled and stuff, and I think it just, Chantal just she wants to be always in the spotlight, and nobody, it sounds like grandma, it sounds like she just got spoiled, and she somehow fell into these relationships with men that kind of worshipped her, and now here she is, 38 years old, can't form relationships with other people, can't be told no, has never faced serious consequences, and it's a shame because her family really does seem like they're pretty caring and loving. Like, she always gets things for all the holidays and the
Yeah,
cakes, and
true.
it's like, I'd love to have a mom that even gave a rat's ass. You know what I mean? Like a cake. Oh my God, Chantal just doesn't know how good she has it. She's got a fairly decent family structure. We've all got skeletons in our closet, but she just has no real, it seems, in my opinion, she has no real appreciation for what she has, and
Sad.
she,
It's just
yeah,
sad.
yeah.
It's
Why is DLF brandishing a machete and a knife and he's sharpening his knife
fighting.
right now?
Blame me. Give me
They're
that
going
machete
to
wound.
ban him
Come on.
again.
Before
I'm sorry.
that, he said that I was abusing my cat by sitting here petting her. So
What?
in case you didn't know, everybody, I'm an animal abuser. So that's DLF said so. So
Oh
it must
my
be true.
God.
Reported.
You
That
know,
is it. I
this
am not
one
happy
that's,
now.
right here. I pet her
Oh,
like
It's a
every
cute
stream,
cat.
but she's abused, guys. So
we all love
Oh
a
my
good
God,
pussy,
Ray
don't
Ray,
we?
you monster! How
Right?
could you? How could you pet her?
Chantal,
I
Chantal's
saved
jealous
them
of your
at a month
pussy.
old and bottle fed them, but I just, I did all that just to abuse them, guys. Just to abuse them.
I don't know what is going on. Yeah, he's like walking around with like a knife and a machete. Now he has 2 knives.
Oh my
Oh
God.
my God. He does not need to live by himself. Like,
They are going to
he's the one
ban
that
him
needs to live.
again.
Who is allowing him to have knives? Somebody call Mama Scrunch.
He should
Somebody
not
call
even
Mama
have
Scrunch.
knives that
And
aren't
where
like
did he get
sharper than
that
a bone
from?
knife.
Lord have mercy.
What the hell? We're just chatting, just having a chill time. Bloody hell.
He just needs to be the center of attention. He's
Damn.
another.
We can't
just
have
like,
opinions. I forgot about this. We can't have
Right.
different opinions. It's terrible. I think we're all
He's
just
male
horrible
Chantal.
people. There we go.
Right?
Is he
The end of the
DLF
story.
is another
child, isn't he?
Chantal.
Isn't
He
he an
talks a
only
good
child?
game behind the screen, but then he keeps his mouth shut out in public because you see when he films, he doesn't say boo. Go ahead, Pink Sundoll. Sorry.
I was just wondering, is he an only child?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
By the way, the nunchucks are out.
Oh my God.
Oh,
Oh my God, is he giving us a show?
Got a whole arsenal.
oh Lord.
My Lord. What?
Oh
I
my
like
God.
that one. Can you show me another one? Oh, that looks
Oh,
nice.
What is
Let him have
weapons
weapons.
to do?
Problem.
I'm so scared, guys.
This is frightening that he has
Where
weapons.
did he get all of that from?
Amazon.com, they deliver.
I am so glad I've stayed on this. You know what? It's nearly 10 o'clock for me at night. You know, your girls can better head off to sleep, but I'm staying up now. I'm quaking,
my
guys. I'm so
goodness.
scared.
It's only
Where
2
is
p.m.
Mama
for me. I'm awake and good.
Monty is.
Do you what
Monty
movie
is-
was it? That movie where the guy with the mullet and the nunchucks, don't you remember he gets out of like a GMC Pacer or something?
Yeah.
What movie was that? And he's all
I know there's like a comedy film that
Yeah,
like have little
it's not
nunchuck
Joe-
scenes, didn't they? I love it.
Yeah, it's not Joe Dirt and it's not Super Bad. Is it Super Bad? I can't remember.
What's
gonna
going
drive me
on
crazy.
DLF is
tonight?
Bruce Leroy. DLF is
What is
Bruce
going on here, guys? I come to this panel and it's just nothing but drama today. Damn
Right?
it.
Can you
I'm vibing.
imagine Chantal and DLF in the same house? Like
Oh, that would be
this
a riot.
war would be going
And
on.
Pete. We need Pete,
And
Right?
Dede,
Oh my
Nader,
God.
Dia.
Oh
Oh my
my
God, that would be amazing. It
A
needs to be
house
like a
full
Big
of
Brother
misfits.
house. You know,
A
Big
house
Brother
full of
house,
misfits. Yeah,
but the Chantal verse, and all of them are in there.
a Big Brother
Yes,
house with all the
Monty,
misfits.
you've got to do that.
Right? I totally need to do that. Okay, let's
That
see
would
this
be
again. Let's see this again. I'm sorry.
paid content.
We'll keep talking. Oh, there he's bring.
Oh,
I'm scared. Ooh, Big Daddy.
I'm jealous. Where
He
do I
gonna
get these
hit that
skills?
nunchuck in his one ball that's left. He gonna be ballless.
No.
Lord have mercy.
The fuck? He doesn't even know how to use
He
it.
gonna hit
Like,
himself
what's he
right in the
doing?
nut.
Ooh, look at his skills. Ooh. Ninja.
It's like he's doing a mating dance for Chantal. Like a peacock, but better.
Like, let me show you what I can do. Let me show you my
Right?
new toys.
Shake
Yeah,
your
it's like when Stuart grows up is like, Stuart, where'd you get those nunchucks, Stuart? Like, I don't
I
want to
need
say
a
where I got
bloody
my
drink
nunchucks.
after all of this. Bloody hell! I don't know if anyone else wants to have one.
I don't want to say where I got my nunchucks, Mom. I don't want to say.
The people of Buffalo are not safe. I think we need to send this to the mayor of Buffalo, the Buffalo Police Department. Like, this person does not need weapons. Somebody needs to check on him.
Mama Scrunch. Just PSA, please.
Well, can we have a moment of silence for Mama Scrunch? Imagine
I wish my
desperately
mum was
wanting.
home. I would take her up. I would bring her up here and be like, "Mum, you sure you're going on a live panel because we need to. You need to see these skills. You know, you might need a new husband now."
I feel sorry for his mother. Imagine raising a child, and that is what, like, that's the grand sum total of all the effort you put into it. Is like he's standing on a live stream in his dirty drawers, playing with nunchucks, threatening strangers on the internet. It's like
there is a slight art to these things, you know. I don't know. It's kind of cool, these kind of wielding skills.
Yeah,
I'll probably injure myself. So you know what? I'll 10 out of 10 props for him.
Somebody in the chat asked if he was wearing underwear. Yes, he always wears
underwear
at home. That's all he wears.
Yeah, he doesn't
wear
pants.
Skills.
Wait, is he watching us while he's doing that, or
yes,
he's watching us watching him?
Yes, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it's a reacception. I love this. I've always wanted to be in one.
Ninja Gaiden.
I want him to hit himself in the face while he's doing it. That would be hilarious.
Is he rubbing his nipple? Please don't do that, sir.
Calm down, please.
DLF, you better watch that one good nut you got left.
I know.
Don't bust that ball.
This is all Minecraft experience we're all talking about in Minecraft. Just remember that all.
You got my attention, DLF. Keep dancing, big guy.
Oh my god!
Where did you get that wig from?
I'm gonna repeat this again. I hate you.
I like that wig.
She got the Rich Lux glasses. Like, this is off the Rich Lux glasses.
You know, you guys make
is this what happened to us?
You know, he's hot. He's hot. He wants me. I know.
His nunchuck skills are, you know, are awesome.
Bringing the
He's a
girls to the
ninja.
yard. Bringing the girls to the yard.
10 out of 10 skills. I am very impressed here. You know what? I'm quaking in my boots. I'm going to probably get sued now. I am just, my life is ruined, guys. That is it for me. See you guys next year in jail.
Any man that can handle nunchucks like that can probably eat it out from the back.
Oh God, no.
Yeah.
That was a vision that will blind all mankind. Like,
oh yeah. He's in his underwear for me because I'm hot and he's hot. Imagine the kids we could have. Hot.
He's just. I
would
don't
not
get
wanna
Dragon
imagine
Lord. He
that
just
vision of Chantal from the back bent over like that. Oh my god.
throwing his nunchucks and knife skills. Bloody hell. Now he's got nothing on that.
Both of the thing is his girth is smaller than Chantal. He actually is the petite one of the.
Can you imagine the starfishing?
Both of them starfishing.
Oh,
No, at that point, I feel like it would not happen.
Last night.
The weight and everything
336
between the two, the
pounds.
starfish did
Again.
not happen.
How could the starfish? I mean, the logistics of the two of them, the starfish, would probably start a fire, maybe. And then, what type of bed could hold that? Both of that? I mean, I guess you could get like if you have a really, really strong
This what's happened to us. We talk about all of this and we just dissolve into madness now. We're just watching a man rolling around with nunchucks now.
Tweet says, does
We
he
fell
like
down a
the
dark
cut?
hole.
We found the rabbit hole of YouTube.
Yes.
That's what happened.
He's back.
Oh, he's cleaning.
nunchucks.
Oh
No.
no, he isn't. Oh, it's just.
Oh, he's back
oh,
again.
Oh,
Dragon
ooh.
Lord.
Oh.
Call me big guy. I have a matching pair of drawers just like that. You hot man, you.
You've had your minutes of fame here.
Look at him
Ooh.
handle that long stick. Ooh, baby.
Oh, what does he say? I want to know.
He can fondle my chain anytime. Oh, he dropped
Oh my
it.
god.
But hey, DLF had a woman at one time. He had Peter Pettigrew. DLF pulls the ladies.
I'm someone famous. You can't complain.
He get more ladies than he do.
He's had more ladies than me, so you know what? We all should be proud of him.
He said his exact words were, "I get more bitches than, or is it broads than Monty? I get more broads than Monty and Lovejoy, Lockport."
Oh my god! I'm literally, I don't know what's going on. It's like 10 o'clock at the night for me. I think I'm going a bit delirious now. Thank you, Monty, for this. You know, I'll blame you for this. Time for suing. Better get your lawsuit ready.
We're all gonna see.
I just love to hear him say Lovejoy, 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 Lockport.
Is hey Monty, am I live again? I can't remember.
Broad.
Drink some more rum, hun.
The broad.
Yeah, I think DLF is pretty hot. So I'm gonna go message
Chantal
him.
is my broad. That's my broad.
Lord. Hold on.
Just,
All right,
oh my
guys,
god.
I'm gonna go now. So everybody have a really nice day.
It was lovely to see you in the
Bye,
panel. It was really
Chantal.
good.
Yeah.
Positivity. Remember, you're the best.
You're all jealous of me. You
Oh,
know,
totally.
but that's,
Yep.
you know,
Absolutely.
Bye
Very much
bye.
hated.
I even dream about you.
So of course. Well, I guess we should wrap this up on a high note.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try and catch up to Chantal on my main channel. Thank you so much. We had a lot of people on. Azza, thank you so
for
much.
having
Pink
us.
Sundal, Ray Ray, Olympia,
Thank you,
It's been
Monty.
a pleasure.
Yeah, thank you everybody. And
Oh my-
even who was here before. Bubbleheaded Disco Biscuit. We also had Doe-Eyed Cookie and I think Michelle at one point. There was
And our
Michelle
little
Hitista.
lovely feature as well. Love the
Yes.
nunchuck skills. 10 out of 10. I was quaking out of my boots tonight. Won't be sleeping tonight. All right, bye all. I'm hoping it didn't say this. I'm gone. I'm here.
Alright, take care. Bye bye everyone. Have a
Bye.
good one. Take care. See you later.